In this video, I'm going to walk you through 10 maple leaf products that you should seriously reconsider, and 5 that actually earn your trust. Maple Leaf is one of Canada's most recognized food brands. Let's get into it. Number 10. Schneider's Original Oktoberfest. Sausages Schneider's has been a name in Canadian kitchens since 1890, and that history creates a level of automatic trust that deserves honest examination. Oktoberfest sausages sit at the cultural intersection of tradition and celebration, which makes consumers even less likely to read the label carefully. There is something about a product tied to a cultural event that switches off the critical instinct most Canadians apply to other food purchases. The formulation relies on mechanically separated pork alongside sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate, and corn syrup solids. Mechanically separated meat is produced by forcing carcass material through a high-pressure sieve to extract residual protein from bone. The output is a paste-like substance that bears no resemblance to the handcrafted sausage tradition Schneider's markets against. The brand was founded on artisan European sausage-making principles in Kitchener, Ontario, a city with deep German-Canadian heritage. The current industrial formulation has moved far from that founding standard, and the gap between the brand story and the product reality is something every Canadian buying this product deserves to understand. A single sausage delivers approximately 500 milligrams of sodium. Most Canadians eating Oktoberfest sausages at a family dinner eat 2 or 3, moving through a significant portion of the Heart and Stroke Foundation's 2,000 milligram daily ceiling before condiments or sides are considered. The World Health Organization classified processed meats as Group 1 carcinogens in 2015, linking them to colorectal cancer risk. That classification applies directly here. The Schneider's name implies a premium standard that the ingredient panel does not support. Number 9. Top Dog's Beef Wieners. Top Dogs is one of Maple Leaf Foods' most visible hot dog brands, and beef wieners carry a specific marketing advantage. The word beef implies a straightforward, honest ingredient story. Most Canadians see that word on the front of the package and stop reading. That is the dynamic this product relies on, and it is worth pushing past it. The ingredient panel lists beef alongside mechanically separated beef, modified cornstarch, sodium erythorbate, and sodium nitrite. The presence of mechanically separated beef alongside whole beef cuts is a formulation detail most consumers never notice. Modified cornstarch extends protein volume at lower production cost. Sodium erythorbate accelerates the color-fixing process that sodium nitrite begins, creating the pink color that registers as fresh and appealing in the package. Neither of those ingredients is doing anything for the person eating the wiener. They exist to serve the manufacturer's margins and the product's shelf appearance. Per wiener, sodium sits at approximately 490 milligrams. The standard Canadian barbecue consumption is 2 wieners, bringing the sodium total close to half the Heart and Stroke Foundation's daily recommended ceiling before condiments or sides are factored in. Add mustard, relish, and a bun, and the sodium picture from a single barbecue meal built around Top Dogs becomes very significant. The word beef on the Top Dogs package is accurate as far as it goes. It does not go far enough to describe what Canadians are actually putting on their grills. Number 8. Shopsy's Deli Bologna. Shopsy's has been part of Toronto's food identity since the 1920s, and that century of cultural presence creates an almost unexaminable level of familiarity. Bologna is already a processed meat category with known nutritional concerns, but the Shopsy's branding layers heritage and authenticity over a formulation that is entirely industrial. The base protein is mechanically separated chicken and pork, bound with modified cornstarch and flavored with dextrose and sodium phosphate. Dextrose is a corn-derived sugar added as a flavor modifier and browning agent. Most Canadians buying bologna as a lunch meat protein do not expect added sugar as a meaningful ingredient. It is there because sugar at low concentrations makes processed meat taste more satisfying and masks the flat flavor profile that mechanically separated protein produces on its own. Sodium per 2-slice serving sits at approximately 430 milligrams. Bologna is typically consumed in sandwiches alongside condiments, processed cheese, and bread, making the cumulative daily sodium picture significant before dinner is even considered. The NOVA classification places this product in Group 4, the ultra-processed category linked in peer-reviewed research to elevated cardiovascular disease and type 2 diabetes risk. The Shopsy's brand name is a century old. The formulation it represents today is not what built that reputation, and Canadian consumers deserve to know the difference. Number 7. Sunrise Brand Honey Garlic Sausage. Sunrise Brand positions itself as a maritime-rooted deli meat company, and the honey garlic sausage is one of its most widely available products in Atlantic Canadian grocery. The honey garlic flavor profile signals homemade, slow-cooked quality. It evokes backyard cooking and family meals in a way that is very effective at bypassing label scrutiny. It is worth separating that signal from what is actually in the product. Honey garlic sausage in the Sunrise line uses mechanically separated pork alongside sodium nitrite, potassium lactate, and sodium diacetate. Potassium lactate and sodium diacetate are antimicrobial agents added to extend shelf life beyond what sodium nitrite alone achieves. Multiple preservation systems stacked in the same product is a consistent marker of how far this food sits from a traditionally made sausage with honest ingredients. A genuinely crafted honey garlic sausage does not need this many preservation layers. The honey contributes a sugar content most Canadians do not expect in a savory deli meat approximately 3 grams per 2-slice serving, alongside 480 milligrams of sodium. The combination of high sodium, added sugar, multiple preservatives, and mechanically processed protein makes this product worth examining far more carefully than the warm maritime branding invites you to do. Number 6. Mitchell's Gourmet Foods Country Smokies. Mitchell's Gourmet Foods has operated out of Saskatoon since 1940 and carries strong prairie identity. Country Smokies appear at family barbecues and hockey rink concession stands across Western Canada, feeling like a regional institution rather than a processed meat product deserving nutritional scrutiny. That regional familiarity operates as a powerful shield against the kind of label reading this product deserves. The formulation follows the same industrial pattern visible across the Maple Leaf Foods portfolio. Mechanically separated pork and chicken, sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate, modified cornstarch, and smoke flavoring. The smoke flavoring is particularly worth noting on a product called a smoky. Natural smoke flavor is a condensate captured from burning wood, delivering smoke taste at a fraction of the cost and time of genuine smoking. The smoky character Canadians associate with this product is primarily a processed additive rather than the result of a real smoking process. The name implies a production method the formulation does not deliver. Sodium per sausage sits at approximately 520 milligrams. Mitchell's has built its brand on prairie-made quality food. The Country Smoky formulation does not reflect that quality. It reflects the same cost-driven formulation decisions visible across every other product in this category, wrapped in prairie identity that consumers have not been given a reason to question. Number 5. Olympic Craft Meats Italian Dry Salami. Olympic Craft Meats presents itself as a premium deli brand, and Italian Dry Salami is its flagship product in most Western Canadian grocery chains. The word craft in the brand name is doing significant work on that packaging and deserves direct examination. Craft is one of the most strategically deployed words in modern food marketing, and its presence on a Maple Leaf Foods industrial product warrants honest scrutiny. Craft salami in the European tradition involves controlled fermentation, careful spicing, and extended drying without shortcuts. Olympic Craft Meats Italian Dry Salami contains sodium nitrite, potassium nitrate, lactic acid starter culture, and multiple flavor modifiers alongside a mechanically processed pork base. Its presence in an industrial production context is not artisan curing. It is the simulation of artisan curing at industrial scale and cost, designed to produce a label that reads like a traditional product while being manufactured like every other processed meat in this video. A standard serving delivers approximately 500 milligrams of sodium alongside 7 grams of Fat per 2-slice portion. The full additive profile stacked against a brand name, implying craft production, is the core problem here. Olympic Craft Meats is a Maple Leaf Foods brand. The craft positioning exists on the label. It does not exist in the formulation. Number 4. Fantino and Mondello Prosciutto. Cotto Fantino and Mondello is Maple Leaf Foods' Italian heritage brand, and Prosciutto Cotto is its cooked ham product positioned as an authentic Italian deli offering. The Italian culinary heritage this brand borrows is carefully deployed across every element of its packaging, from the typography to the color palette to the language used to describe the product. Authentic Prosciutto Cotto is a cooked, cured, whole muscle ham with a short, simple ingredient list. Salt, pork, and spices. The Fantino and Mondello version contains sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate, carrageenan, and modified cornstarch alongside the ham. Carrageenan is a seaweed-derived thickening agent used to engineer back the moisture that industrial processing removes from the meat. Its presence in a product marketed as premium and authentic creates a significant gap between the packaging promise and the formulation reality. Sodium per 2-slice serving sits at 410 milligrams. Canadians paying the premium price Fantino and Mondello commands expect a cleaner, more authentic product. The ingredient panel does not support that expectation. The authentic Italian positioning is marketing language applied to a standard industrial deli meat, and the price premium Canadians pay for it is not matched by what is actually in the package. Number 3. Mina Halal Beef Smoky. Mina is Maple Leaf Foods' halal-certified brand, serving Canada's Muslim communities with products certified by the Halal Monitoring Authority. The religious certification is real and independently verified. But halal certification addresses source and method of slaughter. It says nothing about nutritional quality or the level of processing in the finished product. Those are two entirely separate conversations that need to be had clearly and honestly. Mina Halal Beef Smokies carry sodium nitrite, sodium phosphate, modified cornstarch, and smoke flavoring alongside the beef base. The formulation is consistent with the industrial processed meat standard across the entire Maple Leaf Foods portfolio. Halal certification gives Muslim Canadian consumers confidence in religious compliance. It does not make the product nutritionally distinct from any other processed smoky on this list. Sodium per sausage sits at approximately 510 milligrams. The Mina brand serves a community with limited options for certified halal products in mainstream Canadian grocery. That limited choice dynamic makes it even more important to be clear that halal certification and nutritional quality are entirely separate considerations. A community deserving of access to halal food is also a community deserving of honest nutritional information about what that food contains. Number 2. Greenfield Natural Meat Co. Uncured Chicken Wieners Greenfield Natural Meat Co. is where the gap between brand promise and product reality is most instructive on this list. Greenfield is explicitly positioned as the ethical, sustainable, better-for-you option within the Maple Leaf Foods portfolio, designed specifically to capture the consumer already skeptical of conventional processed meat. That consumer is paying a premium because they believe they are making a genuinely better choice. That belief deserves honest examination. Uncured means no synthetic sodium nitrite has been added directly. It does not mean no nitrites are present in the finished product. Greenfield uses celery powder as its curing agent, a natural source of nitrates that convert to nitrites during processing. The end result in the finished product is chemically similar to conventionally cured products. Health Canada and food scientists have raised questions about whether uncured labeling on products using vegetable-derived nitrates is meaningfully accurate or simply a labeling gap that allows manufacturers to imply a health distinction that does not exist in the chemistry. The ingredient panel also contains modified cornstarch, rice starch, and yeast extract, a concentrated free glutamate functionally similar to MSG in its flavor-enhancing role, but listed under a name that does not carry the same consumer recognition. Greenfield charges a meaningful premium for a product presented as a cleaner alternative. The nutritional reality is closer to the conventional option than the branding and price point imply. That is the most important thing a consumer paying extra for Greenfield needs to know before they reach for it. Number 1. Mighty Protein Chicken Sticks. Mighty Protein earns the number 1 spot because it targets consumers with a specific health intention, and the gap between that intention and what the product delivers is the most significant on this entire list. Every other product on this list benefits from brand heritage or cultural familiarity, creating unexamined trust. Mighty Protein benefits from something even more powerful: the active, motivated health consciousness of the person buying it. Mighty Protein Chicken Sticks are marketed as a clean, high-protein snack from chicken raised without antibiotics, targeting active Canadians, gym-goers, parents making deliberate protein choices, and anyone trying to eat more intentionally on the go. The antibiotic-free sourcing claim is real and verifiable. The finished product, however, contains sodium nitrite, modified cornstarch, and sodium phosphate alongside the chicken. Sodium per stick sits at approximately 350 milligrams for what is presented as a single clean protein snack. The premise of the Mighty Protein brand is that consumers can trust it as a minimal ingredient, straightforward protein source. The additive profile contradicts that premise directly. Someone buying Mighty Protein is actively trying to make a better choice. Maple Leaf Foods is meeting that intention with a product that has not fully earned the clean protein positioning it is selling. These consumers deserve better than that. Number 5. Maple Leaf Natural Selections Oven Roasted Chicken Breast. The Natural Selections Oven Roasted Chicken Breast is the exception in a line that does not always deliver on its promises. Compared to every other deli meat in the Maple Leaf Foods family, this product carries one of the shortest ingredient lists in the entire category. The chicken is the primary and dominant ingredient. There is no mechanically separated meat, which immediately separates it from the majority of products on the avoid list. Sodium sits at approximately 310 milligrams per 2-slice serving, meaningfully lower than comparable deli products discussed today. And critically, this product does not use sodium nitrite in its standard formulation. That is one of the very few deli meats in the entire Maple Leaf Foods lineup where that statement is true. For Canadians who need a convenient deli option and want the most defensible choice within this portfolio, this is the product that delivers on what the Natural Selections name was originally designed to promise. Number 4. Maple Leaf Prime Air Chilled Boneless Skinless Chicken Thighs. Maple Leaf Prime Air Chilled Boneless Skinless Chicken Thighs are the product in this entire video I recommend with the greatest confidence. This is not processed food. It is chicken produced through a method that genuinely improves what ends up on your plate, with no added ingredients and verified sourcing. Conventional poultry processing uses water immersion chilling, which allows the carcass to absorb water, adding weight, diluting natural flavor, and compromising texture. Maple Leaf Prime uses cold air instead, preserving natural flavor and producing a meaningfully better result in the kitchen. Chicken thighs are more forgiving than breasts, more flavorful due to natural fat content, and hold moisture better through roasting, braising, and grilling. For Canadian home cooks using chicken as a primary weeknight protein, this product delivers better results with less effort and a cleaner ingredient story than almost anything else in the Maple Leaf Foods lineup. Number 3. Big Stick Bologna. Big Stick makes no premium claims, no heritage claims, and no health-adjacent positioning. It is bologna, and it presents itself as exactly that. In a portfolio full of brands using carefully chosen language to imply quality they do not consistently deliver, that straightforwardness is worth acknowledging directly. Sodium per 2-slice serving sits at approximately 370 milligrams lower than Shopsy's and lower than most deli meats on the avoid list. The brand does not charge a premium it has not earned. It does not wrap an industrial formulation in cultural language designed to make you stop reading the label. For Canadians buying bologna as an occasional, budget-conscious lunch option with full awareness of what they are eating, Big Stick is the most transparent option in the Maple Leaf Foods deli category. In this portfolio, That transparency is rarer than it should be, and it genuinely deserves acknowledgement. Number 2. Musafir Halal Chicken Shawarma. Strips Musafir is one of Maple Leaf Foods' newer brands, designed to serve South Asian and Middle Eastern Canadian communities with halal-certified, culturally relevant protein products. The chicken shawarma strips earn a recommendation for a specific and important reason that separates them from the MENA processed products on the avoid side of this video. This is a marinated whole muscle chicken product. The marinade contains recognizable spice ingredients, cumin, coriander, garlic, paprika, rather than the industrial flavor engineering visible throughout the avoid list. There is no mechanically separated protein. The chicken is the clear and dominant ingredient, and the added components are spices and marinade rather than preservatives and texture agents. Sodium sits at approximately 340 milligrams per serving. For Canadian families seeking a convenient, flavorful, halal-certified chicken option with a genuinely clean ingredient story, Musafir shawarma strips deliver on what the brand promises. Number 1. Maple Leaf Original Thick Cut Bacon. This recommendation requires the clearest context setting of anything on this list. Bacon is a processed meat. It contains sodium nitrite. The WHO Group 1 carcinogen classification for processed meat applies here, and nothing about this recommendation changes that or suggests daily consumption is advisable. This is a product for occasional enjoyment, with full awareness of what it is. What earns Maple Leaf Original Thick Cut Bacon the top spot is what it does not contain relative to everything else in the processed lineup. No mechanically separated meat. Pork is the sole protein source. The thick-cut format naturally moderates consumption because Canadians reach satisfaction with fewer slices, which reduces sodium and nitrite intake per eating occasion compared to thinner formats eaten in larger quantities. The ingredient list reads: pork, water, salt, sugar, sodium phosphate, sodium nitrite. That is it. For a processed meat product in the Maple Leaf Foods lineup, that simplicity is genuinely uncommon. Almost every other processed product in this portfolio carries a longer and more complex additive list. The gap between number 1 on the avoid list and number 1 on the recommend list is not a minor inconsistency. It is a call for Maple Leaf Foods to apply the same integrity it demonstrates in its best products across everything carrying any of its brand names. Canadians have trusted these names for generations. That trust deserves a portfolio that has fully earned it across every shelf in every grocery store in this country.